Hello everyone and welcome back. Today is September the 12th, and in honor of the new school year beginning, we're going to be taking a look at some academic English. In particular, we're going to be taking a look at something that is very difficult for a lot of second language speakers to distinguish between. We're going to be taking a look at the difference between should, would, and could. So let's start off by taking a look at should. When do we use should in English language speaking? The main way to use should and shouldn't is when we're giving advice to somebody. So for example, if somebody says to you, "Oh, I just lost my job last week. I don't know what I should do." You can respond to them by saying, "Well, I think you should rewrite your resume and go on to some job boards and post your resume." So that would be a piece of advice that we could give to somebody else using the word should. And we can also use the negative form shouldn't to do the same thing. You could say to somebody, "Well, I want to make more friends, but I really don't know how." And so your friend could say, "Well, first of all, you shouldn't spend so much time indoors playing video games on the computer. You should go out and join meetups and do sports and things like that to meet more people." So we can also use shouldn't as a way to give advice as well. So that is the main way in which we use should. Now, how about could and the negative form couldn't? When do we use those? Well, there's a couple of ways in which we can use those. The first one is to talk about the ability to do something in the past. Okay, so could and couldn't, remember, are the past tense forms of can and can't. So that's something to keep in mind as you're remembering and studying these verbs. So for example, we could say, "When I was younger, I could run a mile in 8 minutes. And now, because I'm older, it takes me about 20 minutes. Okay. We could also use the negative form. We could say, "Yesterday, I couldn't find my car keys anywhere, but this morning I found them," right? So those are ways in which we can use could and couldn't to express the ability to do something in a past tense situation. Now, the opposite of that, we can also use could when we're talking about possibilities for the future. So an example of that would be, someone could ask you, "Do you have any ideas for the upcoming party next Saturday?" And you could say, "Yes, I've got a few ideas. I could go to the store and buy some drinks and buy some snack foods for us to munch on during the party." So that shows possibility for something that you could do in a future situation. Another way in which we can use could is to make requests, specifically polite requests. So it's usually considered very polite to use could when we ask a question, when we ask for a request. So for example, "Could you please open the window? It's hot in here." Or could you please go to the kitchen and grab me a beer, or something like that. It's a nice polite way of asking somebody if they could do something for us. So those are the ways in which we can use could. Now, if we switch our focus and talk about would, you're going to find some similarities here between would and could. But one of the differences is that we use would and its negative form wouldn't to talk about unreal or unlikely situations. So otherwise, we call these hypotheticals, things that, might be real or may be real in the future, but aren't real at this very moment in time. So I could say something like, "If I were the President of the United States, I would change a lot of policies," right? So this is talking about a hypothetical, unreal situation that has not happened. Okay, so we could also say that, if people were more generous, there wouldn't be so much conflict in the world today. So that would be another way in which we could use would or wouldn't for hypotheticals. Now, another way in which we could use would, and this is actually very similar to the use of could, this is when we want to make polite requests. Specifically, we would use would as part of the phrase, would you like to? Okay, so we can ask, would you like to, of somebody to make a polite request of them. For example, would you like anything to drink? Or would you like to come to the party with us next Saturday? Right? Those are all ways in which we can use would to talk about a polite request. So those are the main focuses and the main ways in which we use would, could, and should. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them at the bottom of the video, and I will be sure to get back to you as quickly as possible. And I hope to see you again in the next video, and I hope you found this information helpful, and we'll see you again soon.